Hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue. In this scene, we have a meeting between the Toreador Primogen, Fleur Noir, and the newest Toreador to arrive in the city, Charlotte. I don't know her last name.
Her name is Charlotte Monroe.
Monroe. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Charlotte Monroe. So they are meeting in Fleur's domain, which is Sandy Mount by the sea, and she has arranged. She has gotten a suite in the hotel that is there, and that is where she has instructed Charlotte to meet her. So we can pick up the scene with Charlotte probably just entering the room. It's fine. We don't have to go through her getting there and stuff, unless you want to.
No, I think we can proceed there. You hear a knock on your door. Just 3 taps. Rather solid though.
And you will hear a very pleasant but ethereal type voice. She has an enchanting voice, and her actual clan has a pretty ethereal voice anyway. They'll say, "Come in."
Did she give Charlotte a key card to the room, or is the door unlocked?
The door is unlocked.
She will enter.
She left it, she left it to where it can be opened. And you enter the room and you see a very beautiful woman sitting there in a long black skirt, and a smoky gray corset, and different types of jewelry, black nail polish. She looks very goth, very, very gothic.
Very goth. Charlotte can appreciate that.
And probably recognize who she is. And even though she probably prepared for it because she knew her name and everything and who she was, still seeing somebody that you listen to their music and stuff in person is still a little
it's still a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
At
first.
As Charlotte enters the room, you do notice that she is carrying a freshly cut bouquet of red roses.
She will smile to her and she'll say, "Please lock the door behind you."
And she will do exactly that.
She has an accent that I cannot do. It is like a mixture of Irish and French. And if Charlotte prefers to speak in French, they can speak in French.
She may actually wish to speak in French to you. She does have a bit of an accent, however. She does have an English accent when she enters or speaks to you.
Okay.
But she will definitely be talking to you in French.
Cool. As we do in Clan Toreador.
Of course. She has red hair. She is she does have the blush of health merit. So she does look rather flushed, I would say.
Okay.
And she also has the enchanting voice merit as well.
Sweet.
So she enters the room and hands you the bouquet of roses, a perfect dozen, and she politely asks if she may sit
down. Yeah, she will actually stand and come over to greet her, and then kind of and she will give the French greeting with
the kiss on 2 cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay. If you weren't going to do it, I was going to do it.
Yeah, no, she does. That's just something that's been ingrained in her because she lived in France for like 30 years. So
Hmm.
it's just something she does, and and now she is. I'm sure that she's heard your name before, so she knows where you come from.
Right.
Um, so she definitely doesn't feel weird about doing it.
Hmm.
So to some that aren't from France or aren't as associated with their customs, it would be probably a little weird. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
But she knows
Absolutely.
that with Charlotte, it's fine. So yeah,
Hmm.
she'll take the bouquet and she'll greet her and then motion for her to sit in a very comfortable chair, like a kind of like an overstuffed chair. Uh, that's kind of on the style of Victorian, which is really interesting. This entire hotel is kind of reminiscent of that. It's not an exact like Victorian style, but it's reminiscent of that for sure. I looked at pictures and I'm like, yeah, this is perfect.
I see.
Uh,
Charlotte actually says, I in French, of course. I appreciate the our surroundings. I'm more accustomed to this than that the more contemporary furnishings that most people are used to.
she'll nod and smile, and she'll say,
uh,
I prefer it as well. I was pleased when I inspected this hotel upon receiving my domain.
it is absolutely wonderful. I do like it. It is very much something that our kind would certainly appreciate, I think.
She nods.
Uh,
I would agree with that.
I apologize for not arranging to meet you sooner. I've only been in town a few nights.
She'll nod. It's perfectly okay. Um, I don't expect people to meet with me right away upon entering the city.
Mhm.
Of course, presenting yourself to the prince is the top priority.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I've already had the pleasure of meeting Prince Thrain.
She nods. About that, seems he may not be our prince for much longer.
So it would seem very curious thing declaring praxis like that so suddenly.
And indeed, I heard I planned to attend the gala that was hosted by the Giovanni, but things came up and I was unable to attend. But I heard that it was quite eventful.
She just giggles. She just giggles.
That's great. I love it.
Yes, actually, it was rather eventful, unfortunately.
She kind of
For my
like, you know how
for my
when people like tap their fingers together? Um,
like together, like both hands, like they're
yeah,
listening, like intently. Yes, I know
yes,
exactly what you mean.
that's what she's starting to do. Like a
Uh,
little bit leaning forward, like expectantly, like, all right, come on, spill it.
um, so, um, several people were in attendance um yesterday evening, and um, I believe the individuals that I met were Katrina, Dr. Katrina. Um,
I still have yet to meet that one.
she's, mm, I have yet to form an opinion about her. She did enter a piece actually in the art competition and came in second, which was
That's very.
was rather. I'm sorry.
She was just saying that's very commendable.
Hmm. Um, as well as Keeper Rothschild entered a piece as well, and what was his name? Talbot, I believe, entered. He was doing a dance, I think, and um, Catherine Voss of the New Orleans Boss, the Ravnos. She did a dance, but unfortunately, I think she fell in the middle of it. Uh,
She opens her mouth a little bit, and there's an audible gasp in sympathy, like, oh no.
I yes. And I also believe that Sketcher entered a piece as well, but unfortunately, somebody had vandalized it, which was a complete
What?
yes. Somebody vandalized it, which is completely unacceptable. It
Yeah,
I
her jaw
believe
is completely dropped. She's like,
yes.
no, who did that? Who she like it's clear that she has some sort of like feeling for Sketcher, like she knows who he is and that she
Hmm.
like there's like this protective vibe now. Like who
Right.
did this?
Yes. I don't believe the culprit was ever found out. However, Katrina did look at the piece that he drew, I believe, and it was a rose against a black background, and it was absolutely stunning. I believe he would have won if the vandalism had not taken place,
Of
but
course he would have won. His drawings are just
I know.
exquisite.
I remember the first time that I met him a few nights ago. Um, he did an absolutely marvelous, detailed sketching of me, which I was so very flattered by.
She
Um,
nods. He did
I
that
myself,
for us at the last gala that was
hmm,
hosted by our clan.
I see.
Sketcher was drawing everybody and showing them to us.
Hmm. He is rather talented, I must say. However, I myself entered an operatic piece. Um, it was called a piece from the Le Carnaval de Venise, the Carnival of Venice. It was written, or excuse me, composed by uh, Andre Campra, I believe. Um, and I won, which I was very much not expecting to do because Keeper Rothschild did a absolutely marvelous uh, architectural drawing of the old Don's house, I believe, and it was absolutely marvelous. I'm surprised they didn't pick his over mine, but
Hmm,
I just
that is interesting.
and so Katrina did come in second place to me. She did a digital art, I believe, of a rather interesting piece. You'll have to ask her to show it to you at some time. Um, but yes, the event was rewarding, I think. Um, but there was some confrontation that I think I may have caused unintentionally, be involving Primogen von Essen and Whisper.
There's recognition. Obviously, she knows her because of, Primogen, and she's met her before, and
Of
like,
course.
so yeah. And they have like a whole little council that they meet regularly to talk about the
Hmm.
stuff happening in the city.
Hmm.
Um, so okay, what happened?
To elucidate, you know Ambrose, correct?
Yes, I do.
He and I had some business to discuss regarding a possible business venture that I'm looking to open, and unfortunately, we were unable to discuss it. However, we did meet at the uh, the St. Patrick's Cathedral And we spoke to this individual who, for lack of a not entirely sure how to describe him because he was rather singular. He had a very angelic appearance to him, and I believe he told me that his name was Morpheus. Um, and he spoke of some things that I'm quite skeptical about. I One of the things that stood out about him the most was the fact that he had, well, he has three eyes, and
She'll
I
nod like she knows what that is, what that means.
um
Um,
and so I um spoke to Primogen von Essen about this individual, and I think I upset her rather greatly. Obviously, not
she
intending to, because of course she's
she
the first
takes a
person that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she takes a deep breath and kind of bites her lip, just listening, not saying anything yet, just listening.
Um, and I do prefer to. It is. I'm of the opinion that honesty is the best policy for the most part, unless of course you know. Um, I am apologetic. I did not mean. I didn't mean to upset her so greatly. I think that she's rather upset with Ambrose for some reason. I'm not sure why. Um, there's this thing called Golconda,
Mm-hmm.
that's practiced by rather eccentric kindred, I believe. Um, Beyond that, I really have no knowledge further. Um, I do know, however, that uh, the Nosferatu whisper was enraged at my disclosure of this. She decided to resort to violence as a result, um, which
Her eyes widen.
I personally do not appreciate being touched without my express permission given. Um,
Of course.
More or less, she threw me across the room, ruined my dress, and I think I broke a heel. Um,
Ah.
I
Oh, I
believe the
hope
word.
I hope I hope they weren't expensive.
Yes, they were,
Oh
unfortunately,
no.
but but things, items can be replaced. My life, however, cannot
Yes,
be.
that is
Um,
very true. I still
I,
feel bad for the heels.
they were designer, of course.
Of
Uh,
course.
I do believe the words that she said were, "I'm going to rip that fucking bitch's heart out." Um, and I think she promptly left after that. I think I may have genuinely upset. I'm not sure. Blonde hair. Um, Hangs out with Katya a lot. I'm really not sure. I think his name is Francis. Perhaps I'm unclear about this, but I seem to have upset him rather deeply as
Francis.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the sheriff of the city
Ah, well, I
and
see.
also a member of our clan.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that, like a Toreador as a sheriff. Really?
She nods her head. Yeah, he's actually a pretty effective one from what I've seen.
I well, that's not something I think I've ever experienced before, but you
Welcome
know.
to Dublin. Weird shit happens here all the time.
hmm um, and so um, and then promptly after, apparently, Prince Hennessy declared praxis. And
Okay. She like
I
rubs
think
her temples, like she's having trouble following like why Katya's reaction to the salubri being found would cause Hennessy to declare praxis. Like that's
uh, well, did you actually listen or watch um the live stream?
no, I wasn't able to. I was at work.
Okay, so just to kind of like catch you up a little bit, more or
Hmm.
less my understanding what happened was um Whisper left to go to the church. This is all
Okay.
I'm telling you, this all out of character.
Yeah,
Whisper
yeah,
left,
yeah,
yeah, Whisper left to go to the church. And the sheriff followed along with Kasia and Rothschild. When they got there, Stahlheim was face to face against Hennessy, and
yeah.
then they were arguing over the salubri. Stahlheim wanted to go into the church. Hennessy was in his way; he wasn't going to let him pass. And then um, there was some back and forth. Something the sheriff said something I don't really remember. And then Keeper Rothschild declared the church as Elysium,
Hmm.
and so now nobody can really go into the church to, take the salubri out. Um, Out of
because
character,
it's
what?
he's protected by Elysium, so
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And so I do believe it was the sheriff who asked Keeper Rothschild to declare the church as Elysium. I think.
Right,
But
probably
that's
because you
that's
don't want.
more, yeah, that's more or less what happened.
Okay.
Um, Stahlheim said that he was going to take the issue to the inner council if he had to, and so more or less after a single conversation with Katya, Charlotte instigated a civil war between the Nosferatu and the Tremere in Dublin. Yeah,
Okay.
that happened.
So yeah. All right. So Flora's going to process the information that Charlotte told her.
Hmm.
Say, okay, you. So what you inadvertently did was you alerted a Tremere to the existence of a clan that they were supposed to have eradicated. Be- because the Tremere derived from the Salubri by taking them over and executing all of them.
I see. I was not aware of this information,
Of
or
course not. Not many are. I have had some unique travels and have discovered a lot of things that I probably would be better off not knowing, but she'll shrug.
mhm. um, I do believe it was my responsibility and to pay my respects to you as my primogen in this city, to let you know of the issues at hand. And I do take full responsibility for my actions. Was ignorant of the connection between the two, or else I would have not ever said anything. I do believe Whisper said that I was in violation of the sixth tradition, destruction, inadvertently, possibly causing the death of another kindred. Um, I
But okay, that is a stretch because you did not know the history behind it. You were telling somebody of authority that this was a thing that you found.
Yes,
I don't
that is.
fault you for that. I wasn't there for you to tell, so I kind of blame myself a little bit as well. I should have been there and I was not.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's completely fine. I understand that you had other things that you needed to attend to.
yes, unfortunately. But I will speak with Whisper and Hennessy both and figure out what exactly is going on, what we need to do to
um,
calm down Clan Tremere, because the last thing we need is, ugh, I mean, I
I
need to
mean,
speak with Francis as well. I need to speak with everybody. She
Mhm.
shakes her head like, oh no.
I completely understand, and I'm new here. Katya and Ambrose were the first people that I met. I was not seeking to do wrong by them, and
Yeah,
I will absolutely issue a formal apology to everybody if needs be. I will do that if it. I don't
that would
believe that it will do much good,
no, but it
considering
is a
that
show of good faith and trying to make amends because you
of course
genuinely had no idea. I
I
have no reason to
honestly
disbelieve you.
I honestly had legitimately no idea about any of this. Um, I was not trying to cause strife or anything like that. I appreciate Ambrose. I think that he is a very strong and resilient individual. I appreciate Katya. She was very kind to me. Her and Ambrose were the first individuals that I met when I came here. Um, and I was hoping to actually uh, seek Ambrose's help with something uh, regarding some personal matters of mine. Um, but yes, that is that is what's going on right now. um, I'm actually quite curious about um, the situation regarding the Sabbat and um, Ishar, I believe his name is. Um,
You sure?
Ishar, the Infernalist
Yeah,
that
you sure?
is in the domain. And I did hear about what happened with Monique. I believe that Ambrose apprised the prince of it at the temporary Elysium. Um, and I, as I said, I did win the competition of the Giovanni Scala, and I am now in possession of a major boon from the clan. It would seem. And to be honest with you, to lay my cards out on the table because I have no reason to distrust you, as you have given me no reason to distrust you. Um, if if it would help make amends regarding the situation that I caused, I would gladly offer up that boon as a result.
So you would transfer it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, Out of character, it was a major boon from which clan?
Clan Giovanni.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Um, that would be very useful. I will speak with Katya and our uh, new potential prince. Because yeah, though he laid claim to the praxis, that doesn't necessarily mean he will actually take it.
I'm aware. These are rather precarious times that we exist in.
Indeed, and we've
You'll notice that she doesn't say live because
right.
she's very you can tell that
Existing is
she's rather
yeah,
I'm sorry?
existing would be a better word for sure.
Yes. She is rather eloquent, I think.
Oh,
Um
absolutely.
um so yes. Um I do place myself my own personal needs are not as nearly as important as the needs of my clan or my sect. Um, I, while I am very individualistic in myself, I do believe that I do believe in prioritizing the importance of things. Obviously, sect first, and then clan, and then myself. because if I further
Mhm.
all of those things, then I am furthering myself in a manner of speaking.
She nods in agreement. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Uh, if we're not helping our clan and our sect, we're not helping ourselves. That is for sure.
Absolutely not. Now, I did have a thought regarding the the incoming strife
Mhm.
in the over the next few months, possibly, and um,
Sabat wars are not usually short.
of course not. I mean, we are immortal after all, and we have years and years and years of plotting
Oh,
and scheming and making those kinds of decisions.
mhm.
Um, but yes, um, I do believe that it is important, and I honestly hope that the Nosferatu and the Premier decide to put away their grievances for a short while to protect the sect against to protect the Camarilla against the Sabbat
I
and
think
against Ishar.
I think Katya has acted on pure emotion, which is understandable. But to make an enemy out of the Nosferatu in such a time that we are in right now is definitely not smart.
I'm very
So
much in agreement with you there.
I am going to speak with Katya and Whisper and Hennessy and see what I can do to at least put a pin in their squabble until after we are out of danger.
Of course, I believe um, that would be wise. Um, I honestly don't believe that that Katya is the main uh, antagonist in this. I believe possibly I've met Stalheim once. I've never spoken to the man, but he has an air about him that is arrogant. And between you and me, I can appreciate a little bit of arrogance, but
Well, of course, we are Toreador.
not to slip into vulgarities. I don't just wish to disrespect you, but that man has a stick up his ass. It's a wonder his feet touch the floor.
She actually grins and chuckles a bit, and she'll nod. I appreciate such language being used around me. It is completely fine. And I would tend to agree with you. She'll nod.
um, so yes, I would um appreciate it if you would speak to those individuals, Katya, Hennessy, Whisper, possibly Ambrose, and Francis, the sheriff.
Oh, I'm definitely going to speak to Francis
Um, yes.
if
Um,
he's not already on his way to find me.
mhm. um, and if you would be so kind, I would appreciate it, and I would owe you. She
Okay,
looks she looks serious. We're talking like minor boon, possibly. If you could get them in a room together so I could apologize for my actions.
of course. I will see what I can do. And I will take that minor boon.
Okay. Um,
If if I can deliver. If I cannot, I won't hold it against you. But if I can, then I will have it recorded that you owe me a minor
okay. Acceptable.
bill.
Mm.
So
um,
yeah, I can't be super mad at you because you didn't know what you were doing, even though it did start a conflict that we absolutely did not need. Uh,
I
it,
honestly, to be
I still don't fault you for what happened because you genuinely did not know, and I can't
I,
punish ignorance like that. I
I
can't do it.
appreciate that. To be fair, um, I I understand that people are mad. I understand that people are very upset with me at the moment, especially since I'm new in town. That probably doesn't help my case.
Of course.
Um, but I genuinely didn't mean to cause strife between anybody or cause anybody to be upset with me or upset with anybody else or anything like that.
Of course. And I believe
So if
you.
you would let the
It's
record
just
show,
she nods. She like pretends to write it down.
but yes, um, that is what I came here to speak with you about and to meet you officially, of course.
Of
It is a
course.
pleasure. You are rather beautiful, I must say.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And
Do
your
you happen to...
second, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please go
Your
ahead.
second, your second album is my favorite. I gotta say,
She
it's the
smiles.
best.
That's also
In
my
in my
favorite.
in
It
in
was my
my
favorite. It was my favorite to perform, and it was my favorite tour. And I probably will mix some songs from it in the next tour. Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
of course, I think I actually have a T-shirt. I think I'm pretty sure I have a T-shirt. I did buy
Well,
some merchandise at some point.
if you would like anything signed, I'd be more than happy to do it for you.
Um, I might take you up on that at a later date.
She'll nod. Okay. So to move on to maybe a bit more pleasant matters, I heard you, I did pick up that you said that you were talking to Ambrose about a business venture. What might
Yes,
that be?
actually, I do enjoy the business side of things. Um, I'm not as involved as a venture might be, but I actually owned a rather successful burlesque or cabaret club in New Orleans not too long ago. But unfortunately, history has a tendency of repeating itself, and it burnt down. I was distraught, to
Hmm,
to be kind. But
of
yes,
course.
I was actually looking to open up something similar here, possibly. Um, in the what was it? Gosh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I lose track of uh, when and when and where things happen. I'm
Of
hmm,
course. It happens.
I think it was, when was it? 1888. That's I would say mm, somewhere in like the late 1880s. I think was when the Bohemian Revolution was going on in France, and um, the uh, the introduction of the of vaudeville and cabaret and burlesque were taking place, and I was very involved in Paris with that at the time. Um,
Oh, that would have been amazing.
it is absolutely wonderful. I have a certain eye for things that stick out that don't necessarily fall into place. I don't appreciate the status quo. I
I don't either, obviously.
yes. Um, I don't appreciate the status quo. I like to make a statement.
Hmm.
Um, I I enjoy the fashions of it. I've been to the Moulin Rouge several times before. Oh, that reminds me. Have you ever attended the Succubus Club?
Yes, I have.
Have you really? When did you go?
see. Trying to remember when she went. Uh, I'm not entirely sure how
Hmm.
long ago.
I, I think I actually went in 2011, if I recall correctly. It was quite an experience, I gotta
It
say. Um,
sounds about. I think I went somewhere around there too. It was a few years ago,
hmm.
maybe 10, 11, 12, something like that.
I
I
can't
don't know.
I can't remember her name. I think it was like Victoria Ash, was it that runs Succubus Club now? I do believe she's Toreador as well.
She
And
nods. That sounds
and
familiar.
I do believe she is rather old. Oh,
Mm.
that reminds me, if you don't mind me asking, of course, what is your lineage?
Um, she'll I actually don't have a very prominent lineage, but I have
Oh,
managed to make a good name for myself.
of course.
I was a harpy in
Mm-hmm.
Paris for the
Mm-hmm.
prince there, and a good one.
Really?
And I was a good one for about 30 years.
Wow.
Um,
The
we
the Prince of
actually
Paris.
he actually showed up to the Toreador gala that we had, and we had a nice chat.
When was this? Was it rather
Um,
recently?
yes, about a month ago, I want to say.
I
Uh,
came a month too late.
you did, and
Came a month too
but
late.
he did say that he can understand why I would leave Paris for Dublin because he did say it was a lovely place. So,
Hmm. Uh, the Prince of Paris is actually my great grandsire.
really,
He is, yes. I did meet
so
him in
you share blood with Francis.
do I?
I believe so. I believe the prince is his grandsire.
So that would make him my uncle.
Something like that. I'm not sure how vampire family trees work, but
Out of character, Francis is actually Charlotte's uncle.
oh,
In
like blood,
like in
like
their
mortally.
no.
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
in their bloodline,
Oh, okay. So it's
he's her
like
uncle.
so they have a different sire, but they're connected through the prince of Paris.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it all the way goes all the way back to Helena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So not having a prominent lineage to come from, I had to work hard to make a name for myself, but I believe that I did a pretty decent job.
you are the Toreador Primogen of Dublin. I
I
think that you
am.
I think that you've done an excellent job for yourself.
Thank you. I
And
very much appreciate that.
between you and me, I don't necessarily believe that we should all. I know it is proper in the Camarilla, but I don't necessarily believe that we should always fall back on our bloodlines because they don't necessarily define who we are.
Fleur will nod sagely because Charlotte has no idea how much that resonates with her.
Um,
uh, I completely agree with you. Where we came from isn't necessarily as important as what we're doing now and
or
how
where
we're yes, or where we're going, how we're going
or
to
where we're
shape the
going.
future
Absolutely.
because
Um,
we are the future right
yes, we
now.
are. Yes, we are. If you don't mind my asking, the do you have any as our primogen for Clan Toreador, do you have any particular plans? for what we're going to do as a clan in this city.
I would like us to have as much influence over high society and
Mm-hmm.
creative outlets in the city as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want us to be friendly with most clans, but I also want them to realize that we can be your best friend or your worst enemy. I want
That is
Toreador to be loved and feared in the city.
somebody once said that you cannot rule without love or fear or power.
Indeed.
And I do believe he was correct when he said that.
I would agree.
And
And who
I
knows, maybe one day one of us will be claiming praxis to the city.
there is that possibility. There is that possibility. I I don't negate the possibility of anything because anything is possible. Anything is
She,
absolutely possible.
she looks like a light bulb just went off in her head and she holds a finger up. Hennessy
Yes,
is possibly going to be needing a seneschal.
that is true. Do you have any ideas about who he might pick for his seneschal?
I don't know, but I could maybe sway his mind.
Towards our side?
She'll nod.
I think that could be very beneficial for our future.
I think it can as well.
She gives you a very knowing look and she just smiles and she flashes a little bit of fang at you. And she
she
like
just
grunts.
she
Sorry,
just
she just like
grins.
she just like smiles at you, like lifts her lip up enough for to like you so you like see her right canine fang, and she just kind of like licks it, like she's very satisfied.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So about your business venture, I was actually thinking of something similar, so maybe we could work together on that.
I would view it as a that creative outlet that you were mentioning.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
even possibly with the express permission of whoever wins the praxis, possibly bringing more roses into the garden.
She'll nod. We will eventually, those of us that are old enough to embrace will need to think about doing that at some point.
Absolutely.
I but I wouldn't probably worry about it too much until after we have relative peace in the city again.
Of
Don't
course.
want our fledglings being used for cannon fodder.
Of course. We are not the Sabbat. We don't do that to our
Mm-mm, we don't.
own. um, mm, I believe that we understand each other rather well. I believe that we have come to a mutual respect of one another
Mhm.
as well. Is May I speak with you about a rather personal matter in confidence?
Absolutely. Anything that you don't want repeated, I will not repeat.
I would very much appreciate I would very much appreciate it if this was not repeated to anybody. The sub well, I'll ask a question first.
Mhm.
In the Sabbat incursion that happened, did you happen to know or know anybody who knows of a Toreador anti-tribute coming through.
I think I might have heard of that. Yes.
Do you know if it was a man or a woman?
She'll shake her head. I don't. I
See,
just remember one of ours being over there on that side.
I see. If hopefully, if I can appease Ambrose, I'm hoping to seek his help in this matter, but I would also appreciate yours if you are willing.
Hold on, I'm listening.
Um, I have been in conflict with this individual for oh, uh, mm, I'd say over a century now. Um, and it doesn't necessarily matter if this Toreador anti-tribute who possibly came through is a man or a woman or not, but if it is a man, I would like to find out who he is, because if it is who I think it possibly could be, that is something that I need to take care of because I have a personal vendetta against this person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and right now, I merely need information. That's all.
Find out their whereabouts and things
Find
like
out their
that.
whereabouts, see if it is the person that I'm thinking it might be, and if it is, I might need some help dispatching said individual.
May I know this individual's name so that we can find out?
His name is Jack.
Jack. That's a very generic name.
His name is Jack. He's very distinctive. He usually leaves a trail of dead women in his wake.
Are you talking about Jack the fucking Ripper?
Yes, the fuck I am.
Whoa. No way.
Guess what?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
She like sits back in her chair like, whoa. Okay then.
Add a character, this enemy is a 4-point Black Hand Toreador anti-tribute. Jack the
Black
fucking
hand?
Ripper.
Black
Yes.
hand.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Fleur will gladly help kill him.
Yeah.
He hates the Black Hand for reasons.
Yeah. I got a 4-point enemy on my character sheet.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, out of character, my character is actually from Whitechapel, and she left around the same time that the Jack the Ripper murders were happening.
Oh,
And
she
that
was a
mother
she was a
what?
prostitute. She was a
Yes,
prostitute there, wasn't she?
yes, she was.
Oh,
I'll
she probably
actually,
narrowly escaped being a victim.
yeah, actually, out of character, if you want to, I will send you my backstory so you can read it a little bit.
Yes, I would.
But and another thing out of character is that motherfucker killed her best friend, and she wants his head.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, Fleur, knowing that he is an anti-tribute and how old he is, could probably infer that he is Black Hand.
yeah, he's a Toreador anti-tribute Black Hand elder.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, with a celerity of like what 7?
That's 4 higher than mine.
It's
Uh,
it's pretty cringeworthy, to be honest.
yeah, that's very cringeworthy. I mean, I've got out of character. I've got Melpomene 6, so
You,
I've
yeah.
got Shattering Crescendo.
I mean, like Jesus Christ, like the highest dot thingy that I got on my character sheet is a Generation 8.
Right.
So,
And
but
you can only
like
have up to 5 with Generation 8.
you can actually have, if you're an Ancilla, you can have up to Generation 7. Or
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, like, your disciplines and everything can only go up to 5 with Generation 8.
Yeah.
I can have them up to
Um
6.
but I got a I got my highest discipline is a presence 4.
I got that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Fleur will nod, Sage. I will definitely help track him down.
I would I would
Absolutely.
I would greatly appreciate it. And if the time comes when he meets the final death, or my attempt to give him the final death comes around, if you would help me with that, or if you could
I would.
employ the use of our clan to help me with that, or possibly some allies, I would owe you a major boon.
I have a trick under my sleeve that if I could get him alone, I could probably end him pretty quickly.
Hmm. I don't necessarily think that you would get him alone. And this, as I said, this is personal, and I
Oh,
want to take his head myself.
of course.
But I would definitely be in your debt if you were to offer your assistance.
I I will lend my assistance for this. He is an enemy to the entire clan and must be dealt
He is.
with. But I
He
will
is.
make sure that you get your personal revenge as well.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that. Um, on a lighter note, regarding the business, if you would be so kind as to maybe help me decide on a venue. Um, I'm looking to buy a building, preferably something large because I usually am lots
If
of
you
people, lots of
if
people.
you if you which domain would you like to have it in?
My own
Okay.
possibly is Terenure is Terenure.
I think that's on
Um,
the other side of the city from Fleur.
mm-hmm. Um, um, but yes, I'm looking to open up a nightclub. Um, I am looking for investors. If you would like to invest, I'd be willing to oblige. Um, I'm sure I have no doubt that it would pay off in time.
Of
Um,
course.
and
Yes, I
as
would be
as
happy to invest, and as long as I get to perform once in a while.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, of course. I would be honored if you would be willing to perform in my club, my future club.
Yes,
Um, but as I said, I am looking for investors. I had an idea um as to the possibility of possibly offering it up as a space for Elysium. We shall
that
see.
would be beneficial as well.
We shall see. I was going to discuss that with Keeper Rothschild the next time I see him.
Well, we had a clan discussion back before what happened to Monique happened
Mm-hmm.
about a similar idea that we would open sort of a nightclub that could be friendly to all kindred, including the Nosferatu. There could be, dark
Absolutely.
spaces and underground
Yeah.
spaces for them to be
Yeah.
in. And we
Of
could
course.
have it declared an Elysium so that it's safe
Mm-hmm.
for all kindred. And if anybody violates that, then they will be dealt with accordingly to the
Mm-hmm.
traditions. Um,
Absolutely. Now out of character, I'm not actually sure if an Elysium could double up as a rack or not, or if it's
I think
not.
it can. I think it can, as long as because it just protects kindred from each other.
Yes.
Um, it doesn't mean that you can't feed.
Right. Um, so yes, I would definitely be willing to offer up the my future club as a possible rack, and if it is amenable to Keeper Rothschild, I would gladly offer it up as a space for Elysium.
Yeah, I don't see why that would be an issue. I think that would be wonderful, and it would
Mhm.
help our influence and everything that we discussed. So
Absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to ask of me while we're discussing plans?
she thinks for a moment. Besides trying to make a better impression on some people, I can't really think of anything at this time. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep, uh, after we smooth things over with Francis, we can see if he needs anything from you
Of course.
regarding the city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, see. I don't think that I have anything personally right now.
Okay.
But we can definitely keep in touch. And if I have anything come up, I would gladly. Uh, you would be the first person I ask.
Of course. She will. Does Fleur have a phone, like
Yep.
a cell phone? Um,
Yeah.
if you wish, Charlotte will give Fleur her cell phone number, so
Of
she can
course.
text her, call her whenever she needs. She is at Fleur's service.
Fantastic. I like that. Um, so yes, Fleur will happily exchange phone numbers so that they can get in touch, and that way she doesn't have to basically send a carrier pigeon the next time she wants to meet with her.
Text me when you
I
need
love
me.
that. That's great. Um, um, but yeah, and we'll say,
I think
I take it that you are from the 1800s or even
I was
earlier
embraced
back.
in 1888 on my 23rd birthday.
What'd she say?
She says that she was embraced in 1888 on her 23rd birthday.
Wow.
Yes, my sire has a rather interesting sense of humor.
She just shakes her head.
Yes. Um, actually, just a little bit of a background on me. My sire's name is Lord Alexander Thomas, obviously plain Toreador. He is a primogen. He is the Toreador clan primogen in New Orleans. I believe.
Oh,
Yeah. He is.
I like
Um,
New Orleans.
I'm sorry.
I like New Orleans. I went there once before my
Yeah.
embrace and family vacation.
There is no other city like it on Earth. Um, and um, yes, I was born in 1865, and I was, as I said, I was coming home from my birthday party, and my sire apparently thought it would be funny. He was rather entertained by the idea of killing me on my day of birth.
Wow,
Yes, he has a very
how
pecu-
poetic.
yes, rather I would say. Um, I did forgive him after a time. Um, I hated him for doing what he did to me, of course, as we all do to our sires, because after all, they are our murderers, more or less.
I, not fair point. I wasn't too happy with mine when she embraced me either, but I
Yeah.
eventually came
Um,
to terms
but
with it.
my sire has given me an opportunity, and I appreciated that. I came to terms with it, and after a while, I forgave him. Um, and we have a very father-daughter relationship with one another, I would say. I love him. He is he's wonderful. Uh, has a very thick sense of humor, but you know,
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
I was actually his first, if you can believe it. Um, and then I had a brother, in quotes, brother,
Mm-hmm.
and then in quotes, sister. Um, but my brother is dead. I killed him because he actually, unfortunately, made all the wrong decisions and had a blood hunt called on him by the Prince of New Orleans.
Yikes.
Yeah, he traded Camarilla secrets to the Sabbat, which caused World War
Oh,
II.
oh,
I'm pretty sure. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. But yes. So,
she'll
but
nod.
but yes. Um, it was very lovely meeting you. Unfortunately, I have other obligations this evening. I do have to. I have some realty or some real estate that I have to look at.
Of course.
Um, and I look forward to seeing you again.
I look
I
forward
I
to it as well.
I do hope you like the roses. They're fresh cut.
I do like the roses. Thank you
She
for
actually
bringing
she
them.
actually she actually did bring them in like a really nice crystal vase. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, and they already have water in them and everything.
Awesome. Yeah, she nods. I do very much appreciate the
Hmm,
roses. Thank you.
absolutely. Hmm. Of course. Um, I'm actually good to cut it here if you want to.
Sure.
That was
Yeah, we
great.
can just end the scene with with that her leaving and
Hmm.
yeah. So thank you, player, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.